Hello. Hello, ni hao, xin dao, and all the other greetings from Century Park in Shanghai, China. We're here today to run the Park Runner 10K, or at least I'm here to run it. Those two are here to mess about in the park and hopefully have some fun. This is only the second ever organised 10K I've run, but interestingly enough, the first, which I took part in last December, was also around this park, and I think it probably follows the same course, which is 2 laps of a nice loop around this lake and through the park itself. Back in December, conditions were significantly better for running in that today, let me just check the temperature. It's already in the mid-20s. My weather app says 24, expecting to get to 30 later in the day, and we're still about half an hour from the start. I can't remember exactly what the temperature was in December, so I'm just gonna smoothly dub this over and say it was 3 degrees. And so obviously that's quite a difference. Luckily at the moment it's not feeling too humid, so there's a bit of hope in me that maybe I can perform my best, or at least somewhere close. So before we head to the start line and take our place, I guess I should just go over my target for today. My current 10K PB is 39 minutes and 3 seconds, or 4 seconds, I can't quite remember, but it's right down there at the bottom end of 39, and ideally I would like to dip lower than that. Obviously, with conditions being what they are, that's going to be a significantly harder ask, but I am feeling in pretty good shape. Anyway, I'm going to have to try and run 354s. I'm not entirely sure it's possible, because I think it is going to be too hot, and while it doesn't feel humid at the moment, I'm sure that's going to pick up once the sun really starts beating down. But with my PB being that low, and me not really having anything else to go for, I think I'm just going to give it my all, try and stick to that pace as long as I can, and see what's going to happen. This is one of those few races where I don't really mind if I blow up chasing a target, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Chase the target, hopefully not the blowing up part. Oh, perfect. Please don't be sold out. Sweet. You're going to love this, Felix, look. It's all your favourite things, eh? Horrible spinny rides that make Daddy and Mummy want to be sick. This is like your idea of heaven. Unlike December's run, pretty much everyone I've walked past looks like they're very, very serious about this. I have a horrible feeling that I'm about to be one of the slowest around. Alright, this is only about 10 or 20 minutes ago that I said that it wasn't feeling too hot and too humid, and 10 or 20 minutes can make a lot of difference. Humidity seems to be rising, you can start to feel it in the air a little bit, so that's going to be interesting. It's only going to keep getting worse. I don't really understand what they're doing right now. They're not letting anybody stand at the start line, even though it's 6 minutes out from starting. I was going to say I was really lucky to get near the front, but yeah, apparently nobody is allowed to stand here for some reason. Okay, he's explaining it then. He's saying they're doing it based on pace, which actually makes sense, and I wish more events would do. Warm-up time. I have no interest in warming up at all, so I'm just going to go stand over here. Alright, so 3 minute, people who are planning on having 3 minute pace are setting off now. I'm assuming 354 doesn't class as 3, so I'm going to wait for the 4 lot. That's a lot of people that are planning on running fast. Over there, there's a lot of people that really don't care what the dude just said and want to get near the front. That caught me a little bit unawares. I knew they were splitting the starting groups. I didn't realise they were actually starting separately. Right, camera off for a while until I figure out what pace I'm running. Alright, kilometre 1, 354, set off too slow, overcompensated. Now I'm about on pace, I think. The start of this one caught me off guard. I could swear we were only stood there for a few seconds before the countdown came in and we were off. I guess each wave went separately. Like I thought might happen, a lot of slower people lined up in the faster group, despite clear instructions. So there was a bit of weaving to be done, and with the start jumping up on me like that, it took me a while to realise I was off pace, and I had to turn on the burners a bit to catch up and get out of the crowd. So, not an ideal start. Second K was 353. I don't feel like I want to die yet, but that is only 2K in. Heart rate slower than expected. Perceived effort isn't. I was thrown off by the heart rate during this run. It wasn't actually all that low, I just completely misremembered what my numbers were last time out. In reality, I was about 2 beats slower throughout, so a difference, but probably not that significant. And like I said, perceived effort was right up there and what I felt was the edge.
Third kilometre, 3:52. Probably want to rein it in a little bit. We're still early days, and negative splitting would be better than blowing everything I had at the front. Group ahead of me are sort of starting to disappear, so just maybe a couple of seconds per k faster than I want to hold on to. And as far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be anyone too close behind. So most of this race is going to have to be solo, I think.
Just after I said that, this dude in front started falling back. And if memory serves, a couple of people did more or less catch up later on. But for the most part, I was indeed running on my own. Running an all-out race is hard no matter what, but running it with no one to pace yourself off can be especially grueling. Certainly, it wasn't ideal to be all on my own this early on.
Number 4, 3:55. Just a heads up, you should probably be rounding these up, because I'm not. I think we're just about on target.
So, it turns out that speaking and running is pretty hard to do when you're putting this much work in. I've gone to the effort of adding subtitles to this part because I found myself getting less and less coherent as the race went on, which you may already have noticed happening by now.
Okay, squad bobby damned. I have that 5k in 1929, so I couldn't be any closer to pace. Wasn't paying attention to what that last k was. Probably 2:54 or something. Anyway, halfway there.
Looking back at the starting footage, I think I crossed the start line when the timer was about 9 or 10 seconds in. I knew I wasn't at the front from the gun, so I'm not really sure why I thought the scoreboard would match my time when I went through 5k. Effort-induced brain fog, I guess.
6k, 3:58. I don't feel like I've slowed down, but Garmin told me I have. Oh well.
So, if you see this guy in the pink here, he came from behind and overtook me at this point, and throughout the next kilometre or so kept gradually pulling away. I wanted to go with him and try to cling onto his back, but I just felt like he was going too fast. This also happened to be the point where I started feeling like I couldn't keep up with my target pace, and the race was slowly slipping away.
7, 3:56, no talking.
Yeah, that kind of sums up how I was feeling. Everything was hurting at this point, and you can see how much distance Captain Pink up front has put between us. The following kilometre was the worst of the race for me, both in terms of pace and in terms of how I was feeling mentally. I knew a sub-39 was a tall ask from the start, but this was the point where I allowed a bit of defeatism to creep in.
Missed 8, was looking like 4. No PB today.
I needed to absolutely smash the last 2 kilometers to get anywhere close to my goal, and by this point I knew that, and my body didn't feel like it had anything left to give. The big positive here was that the gap in front was no longer getting any larger. I was holding onto the back of this guy, and that became my target, just to stick with him for as long as I could, and then let the finish line drag me home.
9, 3:57. I really should have looked what I was on in total, but no, I don't think it's doable. Give it all I've got though.
I definitely did give it everything over this last kilometre. Unfortunately, my rhythm was interrupted when I had to stop and pick up my GoPro after my selfie stick snapped. I doubt it cost me more than a couple of seconds, if anything at all, but it wasn't exactly the best thing to happen.
Sorry for the wobble. Selfie stick broke. $2.50 to go. I think we said just lower than 39.30, which make it only my third best. Everything hell. That last 200 meters. Oh, I forgot to stop my watch as well. Oh, official time only. Let me just die for a second. I'm not actually sure if there's a medal for this one. I hope there is. But yeah, I already know. there's no obvious pace people shuffling you through stuff when you finish, so who knows. Okay, yeah, there is. Just that tent over there. I got mine. Get out in a second and show it to you. I am absolutely toasted. It's actually quite a nice one. Pop that on for a second. 10k finished. Just got the text through, and yeah, we didn't successfully beat 39. We didn't successfully beat our PB. We didn't even beat our time from December, actually. So the time was 39:23, which is 1 second slower than the time we ran last December. But I mean, it's literally 20 degrees. In fact, I think over 20 degrees hotter today than it was then. And that does make a difference. I really felt like I was running out of energy at the end there. But yeah, all in all, it's a pretty good race. I mean, like I said, I've run basically the same course before. This one was slightly different, and it's a really nice park, very nice course, nice place to come out and run. Enjoyed myself, got banana, got a drink, got a medal, got a t-shirt at home. Yeah, all in all, it's been a good day so far. Now we're gonna try and enjoy the rest of the day with kiddo. He's being a bit moany though. Just check the app thing on my phone. Apparently I came in 16th overall, which is kind of cool. I've never come that high up in any rankings. I mean, it's a very small scale event, in fairness. Okay, so that was the Century Park Park Runner 10K. I should just add that despite it being only my third best 10K time, I did check several calculators after the race, and they all agreed that it was by far my best actual performance once adjusted for the conditions. So even though I missed my target, it was a very wishful target, and I'm over the moon with how things went. We spent the rest of the morning in the park letting kiddo have some fun before heading home for lunch and a lot of rehydration. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed the race, and I hope to see you next time out. As someone who long ago fell down the running shoe rabbit hole, I thought it might be fun just to run through my current rotation in preparation for seeing off some faithful foot-borne friends.